Good morning and welcome to our special live coverage as Bihar enters the first phase of its high-stakes assembly elections. More than 3.5 crore voters across 121 constituencies are ready to cast their vote today, shaping the next chapter of Bihar's political journey. Now, voting has begun in Bihar. Prime Minister Modi has appealed to voters to cast their votes. Tejashwi Yadav has tweeted a video. So has Rahul Gandhi, asking people to vote, come out, exercise their franchise. Jan Suraj Chief has appealed to voters to come out in big numbers. Now, at the heart of the action is Tejashwi Yadav, the 35-year-old leader of Rashtriya Janata Dal and the Chief Minister candidate for the Mahagathbandhan Alliance. Tejashwi, contesting from his family's stronghold of Raghupur, is bidding for a third consecutive win from this constituency. His campaign has centered on promises of massive government job creation, robust social justice and a fresh vision for Bihar's youth and marginalized. Tejashwi has led from the front, symbolizing the hopes of Dalits, OBCs and minorities, and has run a digitally savvy campaign with rallies, social media, direct outreach to backward caste voters. If elected, he promises a dynamic break from the past and a youth-driven Bihar. Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, meanwhile, leads the NDA coalition into battle, combining JDU, BJP, LJP and alliance built on claims of law and order, infrastructure upgrades, social welfare program. Nitish's bid for a historic 10th term faces strong headwinds from anti-incumbents in shifting caste calculation. Now, twist comes with Tej Pratap Yadav, Tejashwi's elder brother, who has rebelled from RJD to field candidates under his own Jan Shakti Janata Dal banner. But more than anything, Nitish can also be attributed to a lot of things like Professor Ashwani Kumar of TESS said, the feminization of police that has taken place in Bihar, which is 35% of the police personnel come from the better sex. You can see Lalan Singh standing in line. But apart from that, the contribution of Nitish Kumar itself is historic because his power does not flow from charisma only. It flows from a word which sociologists would say reinvention and injecting legitimacy as a continual process into the business of running the state. And that's where Nitish Kumar comes in. If you ask me, he renews his legitimacy every second or third year. It's not pure charisma, sociologically speaking. In studio, I'm joined by Brijesh Pandey, input editor of News9. Thank you, Brijesh, for joining me today morning. I'm joined by KV Prasad, senior journalist. Thank you, Mr. Prasad. I'm joined by Sumit Pandey, political editor of Deccan Herald. Thank you, Sumit, for being with me in the studio. I'll be joined with my reporters, Faizan Ahmed, senior journalist, Santosh Singh from Patna, Ashwani Kumar, Professor Tiss, Sangeeta Singh, spokesperson BJP, Anuma Acharya, spokesperson Congress, Ravi Shankar Ravi, spokesperson RJD, GM Shaheen, leader JDU. All of them will be joining me apart, and Professor Badri Narayan also subsequently. But let me take opening comments from the guests I have. Just to put it in perspective here, Brijesh, which party has an advantage in the areas where elections are being held today?
Well, I would say that, I mean, if you go by stats, last time, Mahagathbandhan had an edge, but last time it was different because last time we saw LJP literally torpedoing chances of JDU, and it was a completely different equation then. But right now, as we speak, what we are gathering from the ground is that NDA seems to have a bit of an edge as far as Mahagathbandhan is concerned. It'll be very, very interesting to see, whether what happened in Mokama may have some sort of, splinter effect in that joining 6 to 7 assembly constituency. If that happens, then it may negate what we are gathering from the ground. But by and large, I think NDA has a slight edge as far as Mahagathbandhan is concerned.
Sumit.
Well, I think in areas where CPI-ML is strong, it is providing the ideological bulwark and the resistance to the BJP, especially among the extremely backward classes and the Dalits and the Mahadalits, where they have really worked on them. And that's also the area where they did really well the last time around. And RJD and Congress would want to ride on that sort of ideological and electoral work that they have done. But yes, in other parts where the elections are being held, I think in Bihar, this election would entirely depend on where the EBCs vote, that the 26% chunk of the Hindu EBCs vote. There, I think the Nitish Kumar's image is still holding strong, pretty strong.
What is making Nitish tick? After 2005, not once Nitish's tenure and Nitish's future as a chief minister was in question. For the first time, there have been talks, what will happen to Nitish? How will Bharatiya Janata Party create a leadership structure post Sushil Modi? All those questions are there. So when you visited Bihar, was there any narrative, discourse, conversation around what next? Will Nitish be shifted to center? Was those conversations there?
See, in all the elections that I have covered, the electorate is always looking for a change. It's not that, everybody wants to better their lives, it's a human tendency.
Sorry, I'm just hold yourself a minute. Let me toss to Lalan Singh's spite.
ये उसके लिए का महापर्व है और हम सबको मतदान करना चाहिए। पहले मतदान तब जलपान, ये पालन करना चाहिए और इसलिए बिना सुबह उठ के सबसे पहले हमने मतदान करने का काम किया।
इस बार आप लोग को दावा करेंगे कि एक बार फिर से काफी मजबूती के साथ आप लोग वापस आएंगे?
कहीं कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, पूरी मजबूती के साथ फिर से बिहार में नीतीश कुमार के नेतृत्व में एनडीए की सरकार बनी।
सर, मोकामा में जिस तरह से परसेप्शन बनाया जा रहा है, क्या
अब तो मतदान हो रहा है ना, तो अब तो 14 को आपको पता चल जाएगा परसेप्शन सही है कि सच्चाई सही है। सच्चाई जो है वो 14 को पता लग जाएगा आपको। परसेप्शन तो लोग बनाते रहते हैं, अरे भाई अब तो खत्म हो गया प्रचार, अब काहे का परसेप्शन बना रहे हो, अब सच्चाई स्वीकार कर लो।
तो बिल्कुल हमारे साथ
change. They want something new, something better. But the question always is whether that alternative which is being offered is something that they would want to have or not. I think this election also boils down to that.
Okay. I'm also joined by Ashwini Kumar, but let me take opening comment from KV Prasad. Mr. Prasad, so how's this election position? Last time there was a lot of buzz around Tejashwi. I, as a journalist, let me put it on table, I have not gone to Bihar, but I do feel that the sort of buzz which we witnessed last time, I don't see it this time.
Well, having been away from the scene, and the same is the case, I haven't traveled this time, so let me make the disclaimer, but yet having been a person who follows politics, certainly Tejashwi Yadav brings a certain element of enthusiasm with him, which is different. I mean, you could make it from all the campaigning material that was available. Yet there's one X factor we all been talking about all these years, is Jan Suraj. We don't know how he's going to play around, because Jan Suraj is now also targeting what they call his youth. Now the question is, there was a very interesting comment made in one of the reporters' paper. They said, somebody asked, where is the youth going to vote? And the flip was, which caste does youth belong to? So that explains Bihar and its voting.
Okay. I'm also joined by Professor Ashwini Kumar. Good morning, sir. Thank you. A short notice and you came. And I was reading your article on the feminization of police and the one you wrote on the Nitish Kumar. So what's your assessment, sir? Is Nitish holding firm in Bihar, or we are going to see the winds of change?
I think, Bihar seems to be bucking the trend of anti-incumbency and will continue with incumbency advantage. I guess as a political scientist, we noticed that, in the recent decade, the anti-incumbency trend has become weaker at the state elections. And I have mentioned in some of my recent works, how did it happen. So looks like, the news is that Nitish Kumar and NDA seems to be on a stronger footing.
India seems to be on the stronger footing.
Yeah, and the contest which is being designated as a triangular rather than the binary is becoming more diverse and pluralistic rather than a triangular contest. So Bihar is once again will surprise with the continuing trend of incumbency advantage, largely as I have mentioned because of what I also call developmental consociationism, means developmental power sharing rather than ideological polarization. So Bihar is moving ahead of his own socialist Lohiyite legacy into a newer era of perhaps welfare driven developmental model.
You also wrote about the feminization of police in Bihar. You also wrote about the renewal of legitimacy by Nitish Kumar. Do you think he has been able to do that? Does that legitimacy hold? There are new people on the block. You have Jan Swaraj Party on the block. He's saying a lot of new things which people in Bihar have not heard.
Let me just reiterate the few points, basically structural, elements of Bihar's politics. If you just look at last 35 years of the structure of politics in Bihar, it remains the same, The only difference is that Nitish Kumar has become the central figure of Bihar's structure of politics. Number two, the feminization has happened. That's why I have been saying again and again that the Bihar 2025 will be decided by what I call Jivika Didi vote, which is a new thing that has happened in elections, It's very different. And is a structurally speaking, politically speaking, is a new constituency of women, regardless of the caste. And two, is depending, the performance of Jan Swaraj, certainly, they are audible, they are visible, but they have very, weak footing on the ground, despite their best efforts. So it's not going to replicate what Arvind Kejriwal did in terms of urban insurgency. I don't see any rural insurgency in terms of any chance for a new political party, although historically it's a new development in Bihar. But let's see how Jan Swaraj's performance is. I mean, like in terms of denting, in the last 15-20 days, in the last 3 weeks, they have gone slow and their buzz has also gone down. So coming back again, in terms of what people are referring to, the youth impatience, what I have been referring again, that women have become a strong, autonomous political constituency, but unfortunately Bihar's youth, including, millennials and Generation G, are still, layered in terms of the caste and also party loyalties, shifting party loyalties. So that is something I would like to sum up in terms of the structure of politics in Bihar.
So joined by my reporter Sarvesachi, but before that, let me play out a couple of reactions that have come in, and then we connect to our other guest as Faizan Ahmed also joins us.
सबको लोकतंत्र के महापर्व में भागीदारी करनी चाहिए और सामाजिक सौहार्द के साथ हम अपने बिहार के लोकतंत्र की जननी का गौरव बढ़ाएं। सभी बिहार वासियों से, हर बिहारी से मेरी यही आग्रह है कि आपका बिहार गौरवान्वित हो। बिहार को जिसने बदनाम किया, पलायन के लिए विवश किया, नरसंहार, हत्या, अपहरण, लूट, बलात्कार का जिसने उद्योग चलाया, उससे मुक्ति बिहार को दिलाने का यही समय है, सही समय है। इसलिए हर बिहारी अब गौरवान्वित होगा और हर बिहारी सब पर भारी बने, अपराध और भ्रष्टाचार को पूरा लहूलुहान चोट करेगा और बिहार को मुक्त करेगा।
आप सभी लोगों से अपील है कि आज मतदान करें और आप सब लोगों से अपील है कि जहां भी हमारे महागठबंधन के प्रत्याशी लड़ रहे हैं, उनको भारी बहुमत से, भारी मतदान करके आप लोग विजय बनाने का काम करें और इस खटारा सरकार को बदलने का काम करें। नया बिहार हम लोगों को बनाने का काम करना है, विकसित बिहार बनाना है, बिहार को नंबर 1 बनाना है। तो जितने हमारे भाई हैं, उन सब लोगों से, बहनों से, माताओं से, सभी लोगों से हमारी अपील है कि एक एक वोट जो है महागठबंधन पर दे करके भारी बहुमत से जिताएं। भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त, अपराध मुक्त बिहार बनाने का काम करें और जितने भी हमारे कोचिंग में पढ़ रहे हैं भाई बहन हैं, जरूर अपनी माताओं को आप लोग जो है हकीकत बताने का काम करें कि बिहार में ना कोई नौकरी है, ना कोई रोजगार है, ना कोई इंडस्ट्री है, ना कोई कारखाना है, ना आईटी पार्क है, ना SEZ है, ना डेटा सेंटर है, ना एग्रो बेस्ड इंडस्ट्री है, ना फूड प्रोसेसिंग यूनिट्स है। लोग जो है बड़े तादाद में जो है बाहर कमाई के लिए, पढ़ाई के लिए, दवाई के लिए पलायन कर रहे हैं। कि आज आप सब लोग बूथों पर मुस्तैद रहिएगा। कहीं कोई अगर बेईमानी करना चाहे, कहीं अगर कोई साजिश रचना चाहे, कहीं अगर कोई वोट जो है स्लो कराना चाहे, तो जरूर इलेक्शन कमीशन में कंप्लेन कीजिएगा और मुस्तैदी से जो है चौकन्ने रहने का काम कीजिएगा।
मैं बस यही भगवान से मांगती हूँ कि अगर मेरे हाथों किसी की सेवा लिखी है, किसी का भला लिखा है, तो मुझे ये अपॉर्चुनिटी मिले।
कैसा रहेगा? कैसा रहेगा?
बहुत अच्छा रहेगा।
पूजा पाठ कैसा रहा?
बहुत अच्छा।
क्या उम्मीद करते हैं?
मैं उम्मीद करती हूँ कि जो होगा सबके हित में होगा।
बरसों से बिहार में लोग विकल्प के अभाव में लालू जी के डर से भाजपा नीतीश और भाजपा के डर से लालू जी को वोट करते रहे हैं। एक तरह से उनकी ये राजनीतिक बंधुआ मजदूरी, जिसमें विकल्प न होने की वजह से लोगों को मजबूरी में ऐसे लोगों को भी वोट करना पड़ता है जिनको कि वो पसंद नहीं करते हैं, जिन्होंने उनका काम नहीं किया है, जिन्होंने भ्रष्टाचार किया है। लेकिन पिछले 3 साल के एक ईमानदार प्रयास के बाद अब इस बार के चुनाव में जनता के सामने एक विकल्प है, जन स्वराज का विकल्प। ज्यादातर लोग समाज को कुछ देने के नजरिए से इस व्यवस्था से जुड़े हैं। मेरा आपसे अपील है, मेरी आपसे विनती है, आपसे आग्रह है कि अब जब मतदान के लिए आप जाएं तो ये सुनिश्चित करें कि सही व्यक्ति का चुनाव हो और आप ज्यादा से ज्यादा संख्या में वोट करें, जन स्वराज के प्रत्याशियों को जिताकर भेजें, ताकि बिहार में व्यवस्था परिवर्तन के, बिहार में बदलाव के इस अभियान को गति दी जा सके, बिहार में बदलाव हो, एक ऐसी व्यवस्था बने जहां आपके बच्चों के लिए पढ़ाई और रोजगार की व्यवस्था हो, जहां बिहार से पलायन बंद हो, भ्रष्टाचार खत्म किया जा सके और आने वाले समय में बिहार भी देश के अग्रणी राज्यों में शामिल हो सके।
I'm joined by Smita Mishra, author and senior journalist. Faizan Ahmed continues to be with me. Santosh Singh, senior journalist, is with me. Spokesperson Bharatiya Janata Party Manish Sinha is with me. But let me straight away go to my reporter on ground, Savya. Savya, please bring us up to date.
Well, the polling is underway and people are coming to cast their vote, and security arrangements are in place, and Mr. Tejashwi Yadav will be coming in between 8:30 to 9 a.m. To cast his vote. Then he will leave for campaigning in the constituencies, and later at around 10 a.m. is the time when the entire Yadav family, along with Lalu Prasad Yadav and Rabri Devi, will be coming here to cast their vote. Meanwhile, the battle is quite intense, and we had seen that in the past couple of days, every single alliance, whether it is the India Bloc or the NDA, have been campaigning day and night, and the poll promises have been targeting the youth. The Mahila and youth factor is what could be seen on ground, and this particular youth factor, if you see around between the age 20 to 29 is around 18%, and below 40 is around 50% in the state of Bihar. And this particular section of vote is being targeted by Tejashwi Yadav, by Prashant Kishore, as well as the NDA as well. So it's going to be interesting, because Tejashwi Yadav, before the campaigning was ending, he announced around 30,000 rupees at the start of the year for the Mahila in the state of Bihar. So he's hoping to counter the Jivika Didi scheme, which had been announced by the CM Nitish Kumar to counter the NDA campaign. Meanwhile, the people, the sharp anti-incumbency so far could not be seen on ground in the places that I have visited, though there are mixed reactions where people want to see a change, but people are also saying that a lot of things have changed under Nitish Kumar's rule, and they are happy with the current situation in the state.
Okay, very well put up, very well summed up. You stay with me. Let me read out a quote of Giriraj Singh. Again, he made a controversial statement. He said, Election Commission has made proper arrangements and established rules stating that if someone raises an objection, the person should lift their burqa for identification. When people go to make an Aadhaar card, there is no mention of Sharia law. When they go for a reservation or to the airport, there is no Sharia law there either. It's only here that some claims that Sharia law applies. This is not Pakistan. This is India. India has its own constitution, and that is what will be followed. Vijesh.
Well, I think Giriraj Singh is trying to stir the pot, which Nitish Kumar till now has made sure is not stirred as far as politics of Bihar is concerned. Though there were references to Osama and Osama bin Laden by Hemanta Biswa Sarma, and also Yogi Adityanath visiting Siwan at least 3 to 4 times. But by and large, it's not like Muslims are completely averse to the politics of Nitish Kumar, and that is the reason why he has made sure that at least the situation doesn't degenerate into a classic situation which we have seen in Uttar Pradesh and other places, where it's an all-out war as far as this burqa or removal of burqa is concerned. We saw that in Uttar Pradesh at least several times, and this time on the day of polling, Nitish Kumar, Giriraj Singh has raised it, but by and large, the narration hasn't been of burqa versus Osama bin Laden versus Osama Sahib, as the BJP would call Osama.
Let me go across to Manish Sinha. Sir, is Mr. Singh slightly out of line here? I'm saying...
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Yes, please.
I'm saying, is he out of line?
So, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning from Patna, and let me just tell you that, I have been to the booth, I have already voted, and it's a pretty smooth voting happening. There's a very good arrangement for the voting to happen, and I would urge all the youth and everyone from Bihar to come out and vote in huge number. We're very confident on our deliveries, the way we have prepared for the election, and we're really hoping that we will get a clear majority, much better than what we did last time. And in terms of the question you've asked, I think it's the Election Commission's prerogative to handle it. I think the people, the voter identification is important, and I think they have made the necessary arrangement to make sure the right people vote.
Okay. Good morning, Smita, and then I'll go to Mr. Ahmed. What's your take? Now you can hedge your bet. Smita.
You're asking me?
Yes, I'm asking you. I'm saying good morning, and now you can hedge your bet.
Yes, namaskar to all our friends here and Professor Ashwini Kumar about whose scholarship I have very high regard. And let me tell you, yes, I will go with your correspondence, chat from the ground, because all across Bihar, wherever I have spoken to people, met people, one or two things are, common to the whole of Bihar. Because you see, there are belts and regions in Bihar where there are issues specific to that particular area. But one or two things which I found, applying Pan Bihar, number one, you do not see that palpable anger, to throw away the incumbent. Because, when that is the situation, anybody who is a political observer, a student of politics, is able to see it very, it's very visible when such is the case. Here, there is no palpable anger to throw away the incumbent. Yes, there are gaps and there are some complaints also, but there is also a problem that the people who have those complaints, who feel those gaps, are not very sure that the challenger is going to really, make up for that, make good.
Okay, let's put these visuals in big screen. So, Lalu Prasad family has come there. Yes, Smita, please continue.
Yeah. So, as I said, one, there are complaints about some things which have not been done, but at the same time, there is also a doubt whether the challenger is going to be able to do them. That is one. The second is, there is a clear distinction between the way the women are going to vote and the men folk and the youth are going to vote. For instance, the women are much more sure
कि अपना मतदान पर जाके वोट डालें, अपना अधिकार को नहीं भूलना चाहिए, अधिकार को अपना समझना चाहिए। पूरा जनता से, पूरा बिहार से, महिलाओं से, पुरुषों से, नौजवान साथियों से, सबको दोनों बेटा के शुभकामना है। तेज प्रताप भी चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं, खड़ा होकर लड़ रहा है, अपना पैर पर खड़ा होकर लड़ रहा है। दोनों का हमारा माँ है, माँ के शुभकामना, माँ का आशीर्वाद है तेज प्रताप को। दोनों बेटा का
So, Rabri Devi, I remember I was in Asian Age, and when Rabri Devi was made Chief Minister, then the editor made a headline, Lalu serves Rabri on Bihar. And it just never escapes me, whenever I see, Rabri Devi, in a larger public discourse, because, she was a sudden surprise. Now Tejashwi is also there. So entire family is there. Smita, please finish your thought, and then I'll go to Mr. Ahmed, and I need to take a break. Smita.
Okay. Yes. So as I said, I found the women are much more surer about which way they are going to vote. The youth certainly, they are, because they are not that sure. They are in some kind of a doubt about looking for an alternative. But at the end of the day, they are also not very clear about it. And lastly is those people who, who do not belong to any of these two categories, the other menfolk. So I think altogether, net, if I just put it in one or two lines, the women There is no dent in the NDA's vote among the women voters, despite all those fresh announcements. And I think those fresh announcements were made because the opposition has realized that they could not dent the women vote. The youth is looking for better opportunities for something, what we call what next. The youth acknowledges that a lot of work has been done, but then they also feel that this is not going to be enough if they want to come up at par with other parts of the country. And then there is that segment which is only looking at the caste of the candidate or the alliance. So altogether, I think the NDA will have to make good certain promises which have remained unfulfilled, but they do not seem to be at a losing point, is what I gather.
Mr. Faizan Ahmed, my reporter, young reporter from Patna, made a very substantive point. I'm not saying it holds true or not, but I do find strength in that point. He said, a lot of people want change, but a lot of people also say that the change has taken place in Nitish's tenure itself. Is it correct? So they say that yes, change has happened under Nitish.
Yeah, good morning to everybody. Yeah, definitely your young reporter has said very rightly. And people say and talk about change, particularly the young one, the first time voters, and they want some change. But it is also a fact that people say about 30 years or 40 years old, they will say this, that change has taken place in Bihar. A lot of change has taken place in Bihar since Mr. Nitish Kumar took over in 2005. Because before they see the condition of Bihar, overall condition, whether it is road or bridges or a school or hospitals, everything. If they compare the situation with before 2005, they will definitely say that change has taken place, but they also want some more changes, and in more changes they want some more employment opportunities as well as the industrialization of Bihar. So they talk about, I said they talk about some changes, but it does not mean, does not necessarily mean that they want to ignore Nitish Kumar and his government. So there is quite a big and very close clash between this.
Okay. Mr. Ahmed, please continue your point.
Yeah. So that I was saying that if they want change, they want change for some more things. That is, and this is what Tejashwi Yadav is also promising to bring for the industrialization of Bihar as well as job opportunities and I mean, he is trying to say what Nitish Kumar has not done, or very little has been done on some fronts. But I want to put one more thing here, that to correct this perception, that whatever the perception may be outside of Bihar, but the reality is that the clash or the contest is between the two alliances. There is no third party here. And if we talk about Jan Swaraj of PK, it has come, in fact, it came with a big bang, but in the election arena, its presence is not felt very heavily, or what it should have been, what people were thinking, but it is not so. So it may be in contest in some constituencies, but not everywhere.
Okay, long time back, Smita was telling me that, third forces have not made head start in Bihar, when I was saying that can't Bihar have its own version of Kejriwal. Santosh Singh continues to be very patiently waiting. I haven't forgotten you, Santosh. It's just that the queue became longer. So my question is very simple. A lot of people are saying that the splash of Prashant Kishore is a media splash. It's not the real substantive splash on the ground. Your take, uncolored.
Of course, by now you have covered almost everything. Prashant Kishore, it's all about views and likes. If social media had to make somebody chief minister, he could have already become chief minister of Bihar. The ground reality is something different. We have a very deeply entrenched caste-ridden structure. I moved around the entire part of South Bihar. My colleagues were in North Bihar. We are also to hit Shahabad region as well, that is Bhojpur and the Buxar region. But what we found on the ground, there was hardly any discussion about this. It is sad for democracy, but it is caste and caste out everywhere. And with that topping of the development, of the pro-incumbency factor, which Professor Ashwini Kumar has been talking about. And I'll just borrow a phrase from him, which he didn't use, thankfully, maternal welfare state. He used the term so beautifully, summed up the entire Bihar election, for that matter, entire trend. Right from 2006, when Nitish Kumar gave 50% reservation to women, and followed it up with 35% quota for jobs for women in government, first in police, and then in, of course, extended into the all government jobs. And it topped it up so many welfare schemes, education schemes, and social welfare schemes. So in 2025, we see the fructification of all those schemes. It is, if you can ask me what is the big thing about this election, I also covered 2010, at least now 4 elections of Bihar now. It is woman factor, overriding woman factor. I see in Begusarai, I was amazed to see the male voters leaving space for women voters in Pandal. They said, okay, take your seats, so we can just stand on the sidelines and listen to Nitish Kumar. This is unimaginable. This is something didn't happen in the past. 2 out of 3 voters are women voters. They are chirping, they are talking about Lal Prasad and Nitish Kumar Singh, they are drawing comparison, they are complaining, they are praising, but they are saying, ki, okay, je karte in local language, je karte Nitish se karte. This is something, but I can't yet, as a student of politics, I want to decipher this phenomenon. So coming back to your question, just let me sum it up, since you kept me waiting for some time.
But don't hold it against me, huh? I told you, don't hold it against me. Don't hold it against me. It's morning time.
We have been friends. We started our journey together, so you can take a bit of liberty. Okay, jokes apart. Apart from the welfare state, this time Tejashwi has not been able to set a narrative. Just like 10 lakh jobs. Last time it changed, and almost he got him to power, got him close to power last time, the 10 lakh jobs. Now he is promising moon. He's saying he would give jobs to 2.5 crore people. That comes to, estimated budget of 9 lakh crore in a state which has a budget size of 3.17 lakh crore. It's almost 3 times. It's promising moon. It's something like saying, ki, I will give you 2 BHK, 3 BHK flats to everyone. So people are not buying it. And the politics of those, it further consolidated the women constituency 125 megawatt of power, and then the Sajariya scheme, they call it the Sajariya scheme, Mukhyamantri Mahila Rozgar Yojana. They are not thinking about they would also get 2 lakh. When and how, it doesn't matter to them. 10 lakh has come to them. They have got the Chhat Puja stuff, they have got Diwali crackers, some have got Silai machines as well. All said and done, it's women all the way.
Okay, it's women all the way.
Yes,
it's women all the way in Bihar. It's time for a short break, then I'll join you. And my question would be, has democracy deepened in Bihar during Nitish Kumar's tenure or not? And this will be the framework for the next 15-20 minutes, and I'll come to Ashwini Kumar first.
एसोसिएट स्पॉन्सर एवर रेडी गिव मी पावर गिव मी रेड। आप हमें जानते नहीं पर मानते हैं।
भारत सरकार ने सभी देशवासियों के हित में टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस से जीएसटी पूरी तरह से हटाकर 0 कर दिया है। इससे टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस काफी सस्ता हो गया है। पॉलिसी बाजार पर अब 1 करोड़ का टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 400 रुपए महीने से शुरू।
पढ़ता है, खेलता है, झूलता उछलता है, दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है, आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया।
यही मौका है बिजनेस को बढ़ाने का, पर पैसा।
अपनी सुपर पावर यूज करने का टाइम आ गया है। आप टेंशन मत लीजिए, IIFL फाइनेंस से झटपट गोल्ड लोन लीजिए और बिजनेस आगे बढ़ाइए। आपके जैसे सुपर हीरोज ऐसी छोटी मोटी प्रॉब्लम से थोड़ी ना रुकते हैं, इसीलिए लाइफ जब भी आगे बढ़ने का मौका दे तो अपनी सुपर पावर, अपना गोल्ड यूज करिए और IIFL फाइनेंस से गोल्ड लोन लीजिए। IIFL फाइनेंस करता है सीधी बात।
On the auspicious occasion of the 150th birth anniversary of Iron Man Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, realizing our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi's vision of Ek Bharat Shreshtha Bharat, under the leadership of the Honorable Chief Minister of Gujarat Shri Bhupendra Bhai Patel and the guidance of the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister Shri Harsh Sanghvi, from the 1st to 15th November, Grand Festival Bharat Parv will be held at the Statue of Unity, Ekta Nagar. This unique festival will celebrate traditional cuisines, exquisite handicrafts, and captivating artistic performances. Along with the fascinating tableaus from different states, major highlights will be the tourist attractions of Ekta Nagar Tourism Circuit. 15th November will mark the grand celebration of the birth anniversary of Bhagwan Birsa Munda. Do visit Bharat Parv, where the colors of every state's culture will blossom.
The GOAT or Bakra of satire is back. Cyrus Roja. From politics to pop culture, from your WhatsApp forwards to breaking news, nothing and no one is safe.
Relax, guys, relax. I only roast the truth, and the truth is always hilarious. Too much pressure.
Get ready for news caustic, bold, sharp, unfiltered, 100% Cyrus.
Welcome back to our rolling coverage on the polling that is taking place in Bihar. Bihar is one state where Bharatiya Janata Party has not come to power as of now on its own. Bharatiya Janata Party has broken grounds in last 35 years, from Madhya Pradesh to Himachal Pradesh to Haryana to Gujarat to Chhattisgarh to Odisha, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra. But that ground has not been broken in Bihar. Bihar, ab baat to nahi bolenge, but it remains one state where it has always been in alliance. In a junior position, even with bigger numbers, it had to create space for a person like Nitish Kumar, someone who has stayed in power from 2005 onwards, barring that period where Jitan Ram Manjhi was made the Chief Minister. Let me play out the bite of the leader of opposition, Rahul Gandhi, and then I'll go to Professor Ashwini Kumar. And for next 15 minutes, we are going to talk about Jungle Raj, the issue of Sushasan, and has democracy deepened in Bihar. But first, Rahul Gandhi.
नमस्ते बिहार के भाइयों और बहनों, आज आपने देखा होगा प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में मैंने बीजेपी की सच्चाई, वोट चोरी की सच्चाई के बारे में बोला। हरियाणा का उन्होंने चुनाव चोरी किया, महाराष्ट्र का चोरी किया, पहले मध्य प्रदेश और छत्तीसगढ़ का चोरी किया और अब बिहार का चुनाव चोरी करने की पूरी कोशिश में है। मैंने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में आपको बिहार की एक कहानी सुनाई, एक परिवार की कहानी, एक गांव की कहानी, मगर यही बिहार में लाखों लोगों के साथ हुआ है। वोट कटा है, लोगों का वोट छीना गया है। वोट चोरी संविधान पर आक्रमण है, अंबेडकर जी के संविधान, गांधी जी के संविधान पर आक्रमण है और हम सबको वोट चोरी रोकनी है। बिहार के लोगों की, जेन ज़ी युवाओं की जिम्मेदारी है कि आप सब भारी संख्या में बाहर आकर वोट करें। महागठबंधन, मेरी गारंटी है कि हम सब गरीबों की, किसानों की, मजदूरों की, हर जात की, अति पिछड़ों की, महादलितों की, दलितों की, अल्पसंख्यकों की, गरीब जनरल कास्ट की सरकार बनाएंगे। इस सरकार में हर बिहारी की आवाज होगी। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, नमस्कार, जय हिंद।
Okay, I'm also joined by Anuma Acharya, spokesperson Congress Party. Good morning, madam. But you'll have to wait a bit because I'm going to straight away go to Ashwini Kumar. Sir, larger question is that Rahul Gandhi did a press conference and I asked this question even in my yesterday's debate. Is he conceding elections, you know? Is he conceding elections? He's saying that vote chori is going to take place in Bihar. Is he conceding it?
Kartikeya, I mean, like Bihar is, on the other hand, is a template for not vote chori, but empowerment of Dalits and lower caste in terms of voting. If you just look at, T.N. Sessions regime, which is considered a radical regime in terms of electoral management in the country, Bihar voting has deepened. So I'm reflecting on your terminology of deepening of democracy. If just look at, I have documented in my works that how, vote capture, was a regular, was a trained by dominant caste and ruling landed elite in Bihar, which has been completely neutralized, marginalized. So in Bihar, on the other hand, voting has become both substantive and a formal assertion of power by the lower caste and Dalits. That's a very different take on Bihar. Okay. Anuma Acharya, why is Rahul Gandhi saying that there's vote chori taking place? The message is very simple. As Mahagathbandhan losing hope of winning Bihar?
Is that the message? You're calling it a simple message? Yesterday, he has brought out everything with evidences. Everybody has seen that Brazilian people are voting 22 times as Indian citizen, as Indian voter. That means Election Commission of India has been totally hacked by Bharatiya Janata Party. One person is voting for 122 times. Are you ignoring everything? Is it the narrative to ignore everything which is so evident, which is proven? Are we going to do that? Actually, from the manifesto making onwards, India Alliance was focusing totally on people's need, their issues. But BJP, what they did, they released their manifesto in 1 minute. And the manifesto also has nothing new because they were investing everything on Election Commission of India, initially through SIR. So many voters have been deleted. You also know that 23 lakh women voters have been deleted. And here somebody was talking about, one panelist was talking about that Lohian ideology of Nitish Kumar. Sorry, Nitish Kumar cannot exercise Lohian ideology anymore with very staunch right-wing BJP. And whatever Nitish Kumar has done for women, one more narrative I want to protest, I want to resist on that. People always say that women are greedy. They give vote because 10,000 rupees are given. The Jeevika Didis, I have spoken to 3,000 Jeevika Didis myself because I was in Vaishali district for good 65 days. And for them, the cost of gold matters. For them, inflation matters. For them, the non-employment to their children does matter. This time, they are going to shock and surprise the people of Bihar because Jeevika Didis have said, and I have seen couple of clips also recently, that they are not for this 10,000 rupees. They have never demanded it and nothing can be done if last 20 years. Then why they are doing it now? Everybody understands this kind of strategies.
Okay, madam. Okay, madam. Manish, would you like to respond to this? Because Sumit has something to say. Manish. I think we'll connect with Manish. Yes, Sumit.
No, just one point about Jan Swaraj, which people have been speaking about. See, the one inflection point in Jan Swaraj's campaign was Prashant Kishore's decision not to contest. Now, people have been making comparisons
Inflection point.
Inflection point. When you're contesting elections and your chief campaigner decides not to contest, it sends a message. Now, there was somebody, I think, made a comparison between AAP and Urban. In 2014, Arvind Kejriwal decided to contest against Sheila Dikshit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
In Delhi, New Delhi constituency, which she has been winning for 20 years, there was a strong message.
Okay.
Same Prashant Kishore, who managed Mamata Banerjee's campaign in the last Bengal elections, he made her contest against Shubhendu Adhikari in his stronghold. She lost, but there was a larger message. Here, what happened was the main person was leading the campaign. When he decided not to contest, it obviously became a bipolar election.
I think it also fizzled beyond that, because
yeah, so I think
also went on to
these are
fight against Narendra
every
Modi.
election has a different character. Every election has a different chemistry.
What's the character this time when you were traveling in Bihar? You know, people get a feeling like, for example, when before Yogi became the Chief Minister, there was no talk of Yogi, but there was a surge of BJP. People even didn't understand Ujjwala Yojana was having such deep impact. So there are multiple things which come out later in the data, but as reporter, what did you feel in Bihar? What was the...
See, as I said, in every election, it's a human tendency. They're looking to better their lives. We also want to better our lives. You know, that's our character. But the question is whether the alternative which is being offered is the alternative that we are looking at. That's the primary question. I think Prashant Kishore's contribution to this election, I think, is, and some BJP leaders off the record also accept, is that he has raised issues which the political parties and people of Bihar may have to confront in the days ahead, sooner or later. But whether that time has come now or not, well,
that's a very good point. But my suggestion to all my panelists, if you please want to come in, because there are a lot of people in the show today, please raise your hand. You know, it's sometimes, you know, I might lose track, but if I see you raising the, yes, Anuma, you have done that. So I'll come to you. Welcome back, Manish, because I need your response on what Anuma has said, but after a short break.
पेंटिंग में पहली बार बिरला ओपस अश्योरेंस, 1 साल में पेंट को कुछ भी हुआ तो पेंटिंग वापस करके देंगे। रजिस्टर करो birlaopus.com पर।
Moments come alive, even in everyday life. Every moment finds its place, and every day comes alive inside the aircross. What do you say, Kara?
I think Mahi, Titro and Aircross have har moment ka boss.
Wow, say that again.
खेलता है झूलता उछलता है दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया।
जी आपने भारत कनेक्ट का नाम सुना है?
शादी वादी कराएं क्या?
शादी नहीं, 5 लाख एजेंट्स की मदद से बिल पेमेंट्स पॉसिबल बनाते हैं।
ओ,
जैसे अभी किया।
शाबाश।
आप हमें जानते नहीं पर मानते जरूर हैं, हम हैं भारत कनेक्ट।
ये दीवानापन मजा आ रहा है
Welcome back. This is a rolling coverage of the Bihar election of the phase 1. Let me quickly take you through the bites that Tejashwi Yadav, Chirag Paswan, Meesa Bharti have given. These are the bites coming because most of them are going out to vote early in the day, because obviously they have their day booked for the second phase of campaigning. So let me play out the bites of Chirag Paswan and Meesa Bharti first.
तमाम मतदाता भाइयों साथियों से आग्रह करूंगा कि अपने सबसे बड़े अधिकार मताधिकार का इस्तेमाल जरूर करें। जिसके भी पक्ष में करना है, जिस पे भी आपको विश्वास है, जो भी लगता है आपको कि आपके भविष्य के लिए उनका नेतृत्व सही रहेगा, उनको आप चुनने का काम जरूर करें, घर से जरूर निकलें। मैं तो चाहूंगा कि एक रिकॉर्ड क्रिएट हो, मैक्सिमम हाईएस्ट पोल हमारा राज्य आज के दिन करे, पहले चरण के मतदान के दिन करे।
सोच समझ के अपने भविष्य के लिए सभी लोग वोट करें, अपने बच्चों के भविष्य के लिए वोट करें और महागठबंधन को अपना समर्थन दें।
Okay, let me very quickly go to Manish Sinha. Manish, Anuma Acharya had said a lot of things. She said that, Bihar is at the cusp of change. So you think that the Bihar is at the cusp of change?
Huge change. Well, in terms of the biggest change I can see is now NDA is getting votes of the poor Mahagathbandhan voters. So, from this election, I think this is like a...
Sorry, I don't interrupt my panelists, but, do you think that you'll get more numbers than JDU?
Of course. I mean, we're fighting this election together, but we'll wait till the end of the elections. But BJP is going to do very, very well in this elections.
Okay.
But you have not answered the question.
And let me just complete to what she had said. She had said that, she stayed for 55 days in a district, and then she couldn't see any, effect of the schemes of Nitish Kumar ji and the NDA on the women vote. I think this is like totally disillusioned, as Rahul Gandhi is disillusioned, right, with his narrative on Bihar, right? He came, then he vanished, then he, went abroad, and then, he's sending messages over social media. I mean, people of Bihar have trust in Modi ji and CM Nitish ji, right? They are seeing huge change happening. I know we are very, our youth wants change, and they're seeing a lot of change happening, right, in the last 10, 15, 20 years. And with this election, they can see a huge jump in the investment. Like we went in the rally in Ara, and you can see the enthusiasm of PM Modi with the youth of Bihar. So I think the biggest change I can see is that not only we are retaining our, but we are also getting a lot of votes from the Mahagathbandhan core team, core voters.
Okay. Anuma, you wanted to come in very quickly. Anuma.
Kudos that you asked that question, whether they are going to get more votes than JDU, more seats than JDU. But one thing I have to object, that why are you ignoring the very relevant question that vote chori is being done, the votes are mandate is being stolen? Why if that is being ignored? Is it like a narrative or is it like an agenda? When we are
Anuma ji, एक चीज बताइए, lot of people would Anuma ji, एक चीज बताइए, lot of people would say this is akin to saying नाच ना आवे आंगन टेढ़ा. अभी तो चुनाव जीते हैं. You have won elections in Himachal Pradesh, you won election in Telangana, you won election in Karnataka. Your party jumped from 53 seats and you got 99 or 100 seats in Lok Sabha. I think 99 seats, double the tally. Your alliance won Ayodhya. Prime Minister का victory margin कम हो गया बनारस में. उसमें तो वोट चोरी नहीं थी.
Mind game is played. This is a mind game wherein you make Congress and the other people win in one odd state where they actually cannot win, because if
Anuma
they win those states,
Anuma ji, is 2024 general election a one-off election? Would Congress party seed a general election to win a state election? I'm asking you this question. Would you lose 2029 to win Himachal, Haryana or Maharashtra, ma'am?
Look,
can you please answer my question, ma'am? Would you lose 2029?
Allow me to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said Telangana, wherein BJP has hardly any chances. Then there is Kerala, that we will win always. The Karnataka, they did not have chance, so they have allowed us to win couple of elections. But actually, now with evidences, when Rahul Gandhi has shown everything, that Brazilian model, she herself came on the record and she said, what the hell is happening?
Okay, it's not about Brazilian model, it's about, Faizan, there is also one thing, put it in the context of Bihar. This is not a one-off thing, it's just that people forget. In Bihar, the difference was roughly 25 to 40,000 votes. 12,000 votes, 2020, 12,000 votes. 12,000 votes. In Himachal Pradesh, Congress won by, I think, 32,000 votes. The overall difference between BJP and Congress was, I think, 30,000 votes. In Haryana, BJP defeated Congress party with how many votes? 27,000 votes overall. So it means that assembly elections are being very closely contested. So, इस पे नई बात क्या है? ये तो 3 चुनावों में देख लिया.
Yeah, you are right. Because you see, now the elections, assembly elections in all the states, in Hindi heartland, they are very closely contested. And as you gave the example of 2020 election, the NDA won by just 12,000, margin of 12,000 votes, or 0.3% more vote than Mahagathbandhan. I feel that the same thing is going now in this election also, and the result, whatever be the result, it will be very closely contested, and the difference may be between 10,000 and 20,000 votes this time also. So, and apart from that, I also, since the first phase of polling is going on in 121 constituencies today, and Biharis just pray that this election goes off peacefully, and because of some violent incidents during the last 1 week, we expect that this election should be held in a peaceful manner. Otherwise, if any violent incident takes place anywhere, whether it is Mokama or any place, this election might be cancelled, and that will be a more dangerous thing for this democracy as well as this election process.
Okay, let me take a closing comment before we reboot our program at 9 o'clock. I'll go to Ashwini Kumar. Mr. Kumar, when you wrote about Lalu Prasad Yadav in your article, you said the politics of dignity ran its course because it turned into caste majoritarianism. My question is, it happened 20 years ago. Why does it still, do the memories still persist, or people can give it a break and vote from a different perspective? Because that Izzat ki Rajniti turned into caste majoritarianism. That's your article. So do those memories persist?
Yeah. I think I come back to this question very briefly, Kartikeya, because if you just look at, memory of Bihar, I mean, I'm just tracing this memory back to iconic novel written by Fanishwanath Renu, Maila Achal, published in 1954. You just look at the memory landscape.
You said Maila Achal, okay.
No, Maila Achal,
Achal, okay.
It's an iconic novel, and what is happening in Bihar, somehow, confirming what Renu had predicted long back in 1954. So in a way, Bihar has not slowed down in terms of empowerment, but has in fact, gone deeper and deeper in terms of empowerment. I think we must recognize that Biharis are outside despised, criticized. So also, if you look at the new narrative,
Ashwini ji, I'm really sorry you stay with me. I know I have told you that I'll let you go at 9. I need to take a commercial break. I'll come back at 9 and take the first response from you. I really need to accommodate all that. So don't go away. Yes. Because you spoke about Maila Achal. Okay, after a short break.
पता है हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस आपकी फैमिली के लिए कितना जरूरी है? इतना जरूरी है कि भारत सरकार ने इस पे जीएसटी पूरी तरह से हटाकर 0 कर दिया है। पॉलिसी बाजार पर अब 1 करोड़ का हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 550 रुपए महीने से शुरू। policybazaar.com।
क्वालिटी पे इतना कॉन्फिडेंस, इसीलिए बिरला ओपस एश्योरेंस। 1 साल में पेंट को कुछ भी हुआ तो पेंटिंग वापस करके देंगे। रजिस्टर करो birlaopus.com पर।
अपनी सुपर पावर यूज करने का टाइम आ गया।
आप टेंशन मत लीजिए, IIFL फाइनेंस से झटपट गोल्ड लोन लीजिए और बिजनेस आगे बढ़ाइए।
लाइफ जब भी आगे बढ़ने का मौका दे, अपनी सुपर पावर, अपना गोल्ड यूज करिए और IIFL फाइनेंस से गोल्ड लोन लीजिए। IIFL फाइनेंस करता है सीधी बात।
is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9, English news as it should be.
Welcome back. This is our rolling coverage on Bihar, and I'm joined by Professor Badri Narayan, Vice Chancellor TIS. I also have Ashwini Kumar, who continues to be with me. I have Sumit Pandey, I have Sumit Pandey, Brijesh Pandey, and I have KV Prasad with me in the studio. And more importantly, we'll be joined by the spokesperson of Bharatiya Janata Party, JDU, RJD, and BJP subsequently. Smita also continues to be with me. Thank you, all of you. Sumit is also with me. Santosh is also with me. Sorry. Let me straight away go to Mr. Kumar. Sir, you were talking about Maila Achal.
So what I was telling about the larger memory landscape, if you look at the literary memory landscape, Bihar still remembers, what happened in 1954, So this is the larger, political and literary memory landscape, Kartikeya, I am referring to. So what Renu wrote about, Dr. Prashant, if you look at idealist Nehruvian, has been replaced by, again, an idealist, politician who continues to be, in the Chief Minister seat, Nitish Kumar. So the transformation has happened in Bihar over a long period of time in terms of memory landscape. But there are things, if you just look at, what is called, Jungle Raj. Jungle Raj had two dimensions, The one dimension is the suppressions of, poor by landed upper caste, landed elite. And the second also, Jungle Raj is about total collapse of the state structure leading to widespread lawlessness. Biharis, if you look at, in the current regime, in the current transformation and substantive transformation of democracy in Bihar, have perhaps realized that empowerment, the multi-sided empowerment in Bihar. So one hand, poor has gained voice, poor has gained also substantive freedom, and also what I called, a different kind of, women have realized maternal welfare state in Bihar, which is historically speaking, compared to when you look at, Maila Achal, Kamla, Fulia, they are discussing about, lack of, development benefits, welfare benefits. Cut to 2025, Bihar has achieved that, through Jivika Didi. Next come to widespread lawlessness. I think, there are two ways of looking at. I'm also looking at comparative, politics in Nepal, Bangladesh, and also Lanka. So if you look at Gen Z has a shorter memory and perhaps, social media memory landscape. On the other hand, if you look at,
Gen Z has become a very contested word in India, it fires up the debate. You use the word Gen Z and it requires a different meaning in a debate.
Because here, if you look at Nepo kids, Bihar, they are, Nepo kids argument doesn't work in Bihar. A lot of dynasty and lot of Nepo kids are there, part of. So Bihar landscape is very different, political landscape, But something is very interesting happening in Bihar in terms of the memory.
No,
if you just
wait a minute. You made a very important point, Santosh. Does Bihar have, does it have that Gen Z consciousness, See, Gen Z is just not age, you need a Gen Z consciousness. It's like, why can't we create Silicon Valley in India? Because it's a culture. You got to create that West Coast culture. So is there a Gen Z consciousness in Bihar? Do we have that?
We don't find that. It is divided out there. If you talk to youth, they are disenchanted. To a section of them is disenchanted. Rural youth, of course, they talk about Tejashwi, they talk about Jan Suraj, but urban youth. When you talk to rural youth, it is cast out there. What Ashwini sir said, I am tempted to, since you have raised the level of the debate, I am tempted to use some phrases from my first book, Ruled or Misruled. I defined Lalu Prasad's regime in 4 terms: mondialization of politics, secularization of politics, Yadavization of politics and criminalization of politics. The fourth one is defines, of course, the Jungle Raj. Jungle Raj per se, just for readers, you must be also knowing it was just a term used in oral observation of Patna High Court in terms of civic failure in Patna, civic mismanagement in Patna. It had nothing to do with lawlessness of the state. But what we are talking about, we're talking about 38 massacres, we're talking about 566 killings during those years, we're talking about kidnapping for ransom, we're talking about road robberies, all those memories. It is an election of two memories, one of Lalu Prasad and Rabri Devi's memories, regime's memories, one of Nitish Kumar's regime's memories. It is election of two cumulative memories, and people have to choose between those two memories. That is the invocation. That is where Jungle Raj term comes. It is handed over from one generation to another like a folklore. It's sad, but that is how it is. It has been that we find in the Bihar.
Badriji, good morning. Thank you for joining me. Do you agree with the sort of summarization which Santosh has done, that it's like a folklore handed from one generation to another? And another point to be noted is, correct me if I'm wrong, after 1989 Bhagalpur riots, 88 or 89? 89 riots, no big Hindu-Muslim riot has taken place in Bihar either.
Yeah, you are very right that Bihar is in that way is going to be a very stable state and also progressive, as Ashwini has said. And you know, Bihar, in terms of, because people are talking about memory as a theme, I think, I'll tell you a very interesting thing that when I was talking to the people in the rural villages, I never heard term poor this time. No, poor, no one wants to call himself or herself poor. Even the area where CPIML candidates are contesting, where the poor and proletariat politics need to be as a part of discourse, they are also, no one wants to call themselves poor. A new term has replaced poor, that is beneficiary. Because everyone wants to discuss about ye mila, ye nahi mila, ye milna, wo ye de raha hai, wo de raha hai. It's like that. So it's a huge growth, a change in the people consciousness. That is that shift is towards a making of beneficiary consciousness. A new subjectivity has emerged among vulnerable and marginal communities. And because of that consciousness, you know, that very interesting thing is happening. If you see within 5 years, the circle of beneficiary has grown. Around 3 crores Jan Dhan Yojana beneficiaries. Around 1.5 crore. If you see any scheme, you can find the growth of the beneficiaries. In Jan Dhan Yojana, 1.5 time growth. So that is going to impact the Bihar politics in big way, beyond the caste, beyond the community, beyond the communal identities, etc. So that's one thing. Second thing is the changing Bihar memory. You know, we are from I am from the Bihar also. And when I came from there, that time a very different kind of Bihar we had in our we experienced. Now a very different kind of Bihar. When we go to Bihar, we find a very different kind of Bihar. Big roads, light, pani, everything. So the first level of infrastructural development we have acquired. The first level of development, road, bijli, pani, sadak, etc. Second level, education, health, etc. We are progressing in that. So slowly Bihar is a state of aspiration. It's an aspirational state, and not only aspirational state as a notion, but Biharis, the public of Bihar, are trying to emerge themselves, develop themselves, their capacity to acquire through the politics, acquire through their own everyday work and the activities, resilience, a kind of adjustment, and the kind of wisdom, folk wisdom. Santoshji was telling about the folklore. So I will tell the Bihari people has a very in-depth folk wisdom, and the folk wisdom emerged from their everyday life, and that is expressed in their politics too. Yes, there is a violence, there is a conflict. Bihar is a land of social movement. Bihar is a land of political movements. A lot of things are happening, but these all churning are going towards nowadays in a proper developmental era, developmental time, and we should be thankful to the Nitish Kumar ji and others, the kind of BJP politics, the the new era of developmentalism, developmental hope have emerged in Bihar, and Bihari people are trying to acquire that.
Okay. KV, you want to do? Yes, you can ask a question, because you ask a question, then we're going to go to the smaller parties. Thank you. Chitra Batham also joins me from the Congress party. Good morning, madam. Thank you for joining us on this conversation. Yes, Mr. Prasad.
This is to Professor Narayan. 2005, I remember there was a very clear message everybody talked about, that Bihar has broken away from the caste barrier by voting Mr. Nitish Kumar. That was the popular sentiment. But 20 years down the line, we still keep on harping on those issues. While you talk of development, but most politicians do tell you development doesn't get you votes. So do you find a contradiction in that?
Can you please
politics goes to caste and politics goes together to acquire development. So caste is here, but caste is here not as a kind of casteness. Caste is here for the representation, and that representation for getting share in development. So caste in Bihar, in very interesting way, not only in Bihar, in another part of India, is emerging as a political resource, and that political resource for getting share in the developmental project. So I'll say aspiration for development is reshaping, remaking every resource in terms of developmental growth. So caste here as a resource for representation, and that representation going towards developmental politics. So it's a new era of developmental politics.
Okay, let me play out the bite of Samrat Chaudhary, then I go to Smita.
बिहार में इस बार हमारी जो बहनें हैं, बिहार के नौजवान हैं, बिहार के भविष्य को जो बनाए रखना, जो निरंतर विकास हो रहा है, क्योंकि जो डेवलपमेंट और डिलीवर बिहार में एनडीए की सरकार ने किया है, उसी नाम पर हम जनता के बीच में जा रहे हैं। हम डिलीवरी वाले लोग हैं, दूसरे तरफ घोषणा करने वाले लोग। देखिए, बिहार की समृद्धि के लिए काम कर रहे हैं। मैं तो ये छठी बार चुनाव लड़ने आया, मैं लगातार छठी बार चुनाव लड़ने आया। जनता का आशीर्वाद मिलेगा, सदन पहुंचूंगा और नई सरकार बनाऊंगा।
Okay, let me go across to Smita. Smita, a lot of small parties in Bihar make a difference, you know. Small parties, 1% vote, 2% vote, 3% vote. Do you think that these small parties are going to gain more momentum in Bihar, or with the election that is taking place, they are going to get slightly squeezed in this time?
Well, you see, these small parties take the biggest lines when the seat sharing and such negotiations are on. Because, see, they always punch above the weight. Okay? Because then they can exchange largely the line was the almost a direct fight, and look what happened in 2020. So they realized that 1%, sometimes it's less than 1%, or 1.5%. I've seen Mukesh Sahni, you know, making line all over country in the national media with a 2.5 or 2.6% vote. And I have agreed. I mean, enough ground observation to tell you that such story is going to all the mal votes, all the others. And yet he has himself declared that the CM candidate. So yes, smaller parties are very strict in making headlines. They value that small percentage, and every alliance will be sad. In the constituency.
Smita, we need to go to Smita. I think we need to go to Chitra. We need to fix your line. There's an audio break there. Your opening comments, Chitra Batham.
Well, I think I'd like to talk about the same or continue the same topic that Smita was talking about. I'd like to correct her. Although you may say that the subcategorization of the caste to which Mr. Mukesh Sahni belongs may be just 2.5%, but he actually belongs to a larger community which is called as the fishermen's community, which is nothing less than 10 to 12% vote percentage in Bihar. And I would like to also remind you that he's been made the face of Deputy CM from the EBC community, which is no less than 38% vote share in the entire Bihar. So I think one needs to be updated about the statistics that we are talking about over here. So he definitely comes from a larger group and who has a considerable amount of vote share in the Bihar politics. And
yes, please go on. Please go on.
yes. So I was just saying that I just jumped into the conversation, and the conversation about the folklores were going on about the Dangal Raj propaganda that is still continuing. If that is the case, then I don't think so. For the next 20 to 40 years, somebody should vote NDA or Modi government in Manipur, or for that matter in entire India, because the manner in which the communal rights that have taken place after independence, after 75 years of independence in India, is completely humongous in nature, and that has changed the perception of India globally as well. So I think narratives need to be set correctly. The narrative that today we are taking to the polls is the narrative of Palayan. Almost 75 lakh people from Bihar are now out of Bihar, and which is why there is so many deletions also, so many lakh deletions also that has taken place, and they have been not allowed to cast their vote into these respective elections. I must also remind you, when we talk about the development, what sort of infrastructure development has taken place for the Gen Zs? Is there anything? Leave about the smart cities. There are no cities also in Bihar apart from Patna. There is not a single city that is developed. So I think there is no development politics that has taken place in Bihar. This is what the Vinashkal that we have been talking about, 20 years of Vinashkal, and this is the change that today Bihar is going to vote
Okay,
for.
there seems to be a difference. Instead of using the word youth, I have realized that a lot of spokespersons are using the word Gen Z. This is a discursive shift that has happened. Smita, I think we have taken care of your line.
I hope you can hear me clearer now.
Yes.
Can you?
Yes.
Yeah. So just, yes, see, Ms. Vatham is representing her party, and she has every right to defend her party as well as her alliance. But I take objection to the words she said about correcting me. I will set a few things right with registering my protest to this word correct. Number one, Mukesh Sahni represents Mallas. It is very important to tell you that Bihar is a riverine state, and there is a very large tract of Bihar in north and northeast of Bihar, which is fed by rivers and their tributaries, and many caste groups, many communities depend on the economy of the rivers. It includes Nishads, it includes Kewards, Ghatwar, Kashyap. There are about a dozen communities in my own home district who are dependent on this riverine economy. Altogether, they come to, close to about 10%. And none of them vote in a homogeneous manner. That is the most important thing. In my own district, you have 3 different subcastes of Yadavs who all vote differently. So to presume that Mukesh Sahni will get the entire Nishad, Kewat, Ghatwar, all the votes is like not knowing Bihar at all, is one thing. Second, I have ground reports of my own travel where Sahnis have said that, and the reason is very clear, you see, the NDA has also fielded many Sahni candidates. Not only candidates, in its own camp, the NDA has some very reputed, very strong Sahni leaders also. So that is one point. Still, Mukesh Sahni will get a good chunk of the Sahni votes, but it is not going to be more than half, is what I can tell you today, even before voting. And finally, votes one upon another.
Okay, I think we lost Smita again. Chitra. Okay, before I go. Okay.
See, again, I just want to kind of,
Chitra. Oh, just wait a minute. I think Sumit want to make a point. Yes.
No, I just, during my travel this time from Kishanganj to Begusarai, I was in Purnia. So it was the very next day after Chhat, and I was having a conversation with a group of youngsters, having a cup of tea. Now we had a group where it had a very, diverse representation from all the OBC and EBC communities. And interestingly, in that rural area, it was once again on the basis of caste. And the good thing about Bihar is that there is no hypocrisy about caste.
Yeah. I think that's the best thing about
it. That's the best thing. You can ask people,
otherwise.
And other places, people will vote on caste, but will say, no, casteism is not, I'm not caste. But that's the best thing about Bihar.
Badri was saying, caste is inherent to Hinduism. You don't get to be born out of caste. But casteness becomes an issue because it's a point of mobilization, and now in modern context as a beneficiary.
It's a reality where political parties, when you are mobilizing around caste, then political parties will use caste as vehicles for their empowerment and vice versa. The caste will use political parties for their empowerment. So it's a two-way process. I mean, we sometimes look at these smaller parties like Chirag Paswan's parties, HAM or VIP party, but it's a representation of the aspiration of the people. And mind you, these smaller parties, Chirag Paswan by fielding 143 candidate last time, it strategically dented Nitish Kumar. He pulled him, dragged him down to 43 seats. So there is they may not win, but they can ensure that you lose. So there is an importance of these parties, and they represent the aspiration of the caste and subcaste in the order the way the Mandal was a larger mobilization. But then over the years you are going to see these aspirations of the people come out in the open and seek not only representation but leadership.
Okay.
And they've realized that, and that is the reason why whenever you to have this seat distribution talk and all, and these, as Smita was saying, that they try to punch above their weight, because they now know that they can punch above their weight and they can get a larger share. And earlier it used to be like, they're like literally on the margins, but now their share has grown many-fold.
Okay, Faizan, you wanted to come in?
Just a couple of issues, like the role of smaller parties in the elections. You see, if you see this 2020 election results, VIP, BSP, MIM, they got won few seats. But what happened? They all were either went to bigger parties, and like BSP won one seat, one candidate, and he joined JDU. VIP candidates went to BJP. MIM MLAs went to RJD. So they just contest these elections, but they cannot retain but they are not able to retain their MLAs with them. That is one point. Another point, as this was made about this Malla or Sahni or Nishad strength, that is altogether 6 to 7%, not more than that. If we calculate in a broader way, and Sahni is leader of one subcaste of this fisherman caste. So still he was declared the deputy chief ministerial face. And this gave a message to the community that since our man is going to be the deputy chief minister, they tried to support him, and they showed their support to him. But even after, as we earlier discussed, that PK is not contesting election. Similarly, Faizan,
I'll come to PK because since we have been talking about the smaller caste, let me play out the bite of Mukesh Sahni first.
मैं यही दूंगा कि लोकतंत्र का मालिक आप हैं, जनता जो है वो मालिक होता है, और आपके पास राज्य में मुख्यमंत्री चुनने का अधिकार है, देश में प्रधानमंत्री चुनने का अधिकार है। अपना मत का उपयोग कीजिए, घर से निकलिए और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा मत कीजिए और सोच समझ के मत कीजिए। आप देखिए कि पूर्व में जो लोगों ने सरकार में रहे और उन्होंने जो भी घोषणा किया, जो भी वादा उन्होंने किया, क्या वो पूरा किए हैं? और जब अगर वो पूरा किए तो निश्चित तौर पर उनके बारे में सोचना चाहिए। यदि अगर वो पूरा नहीं किए हैं तो निश्चित तौर पे आपको ये समझना चाहिए कि उनसे वो काम नहीं हुआ, इसलिए उनको हटाना चाहिए। तो इसलिए सभी लोग ईमानदारी से अपना मत का प्रयोग करें।
Okay, Subhit, when you were talking about the way caste, I understand the logic. People say what caste has done to democracy. A lot of sociologists have written, you have to see it from a different perspective what democracy has done to the caste, because
it's a two-way process.
It's a two-way process. Yeah. It's a two-way process. Yes, Chitra, you wanted to come in, and then I'll go to yes.
Because see, I realize, and with all due respect to Mr. Faizan and Miss and Smita ji, I also belong to the fishermen community, and which is why I know what I was talking about. The number or the statistic that I gave, that he represents 10 to 12 percentage, was based on the statistics of the caste census that was derived in 2023. And also, when we you may consider these subcastes to be a separate for political purposes, but we have roti beti ka relationship within the community. So as a whole, we are going to count that as one single community in the fishermen concept.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Let me go across to Santosh. Santosh, you spoke about mandalization, Yadavization, majoritarianism, and you also spoke about folklore being being transferred from one generation to another. But the politics of Bihar has also changed substantially in last 20 years. A lot of people would say it has democratized in terms of smaller parties becoming important. A lot of people also say that there is a lack of choice, Santosh, because the lack of choice is that except Nitish, there are no other people. Santosh.
In a sense, that's true, Kartikeya. That's true. But if you talk about all this caste thing, I think it is post Karpuri Thakur phenomenon. Karpuri Thakur per se was not taken as an ABC leader. Of course, he was the pioneer of the quota politics. He gave 26% ABC and 12% to ABC and 8% to OBC. That is where post 90 phenomenon, he was dubbed as an ABC leader, which he was not. He was called Jannayak. I am a biographer as well. That is one. And if you just refer to the book of Jeffrey Witt's Democracy Against Development, he was talking about pre-colonial and post-colonial caste structure in Bihar. So it was Sanskritization and desanskritization. People were just using the upper caste surname. Now they are coming back to their surname. IP Gupta is a smaller party from Pan Samaj. He is contesting 3 seats. He is also contesting himself from Sarsa. His community, that is 22 lakh. That comes to 1.7% of the state population as per the Bihar caste survey. Similarly, you discussed Mukesh Sani. I'm not getting into numbers. That is conglomerate. Jitan Ram Manjhi. You see, Upendra Kushwaha. So many leaders. It's all about convergence of vote. If NDA lost last election, it was because of 2 factors. People talk a lot about Chirag Paswan. It was also because of.
But is Chirag Paswan behaving this time? The question is, why is he behaving so well this time? Last time he didn't behave well last time, and he caused a lot of heartburn to Nitish Kumar when he said, "मैं हनुमान जी हूँ, लेकिन आग तो किसी दूसरे की लंका में उन्होंने लगा दी."
No, but he was true to the occasion. उसने आग वहीं लगाई जहाँ लोग आग लगवाना चाहते थे. That is why he was a true Hanuman. I mean, let's be honest about it.
He said it, not my word.
LJP did it all on his own.
Not my word. He said it.
And abetted and I mean,
One sec, Kartik, just let me finish. Because Chirag Paswan wants to be a good stakeholder in state politics. I was once asked him, "Would you want to stick to national politics like your father?" He said, "No, I want to be a stakeholder." Now, Nitish Kumar is fast walking into sunset of his life, political life as well. He is throwing his hat in the ring. He sees himself as a future ally of BJP. That's why he just lobbied hard for getting 29 good seats. He might win 7, 8, 9 seats. Even if he win less than 10 plus, he could be some stakeholder in state politics. Last time he could win only 1 seat, and that MLA crossed over to JDU. This time he has been behaving well because he also wants good mutual conversion from BJP and JDU and other smaller allies. That is one reason. So all smaller parties, if they club with bigger allies, bigger parties, then there could be good conversion. That's why Tejashwi is banking on 7-party alliance. The IIP Gupta can get some, Mukesh Sani can get some. Of course, the CPIML did very well. They two Lok Sabha elections and Lok Sabha seats as well. So they are banking. See, when the battle starts, NDA, of course, it starts with arithmetic advantage. But as it gets closer, so it is narrowing down all because of the caste calculation, which Badrinaran was talking about, the what was the term? I just forget about that term. The caste, yes, he's talking about the caste aspiration. They want more representation. They are not talking about caste in terms of caste. They're talking about representation. They're talking about ABC. They're saying, okay, top 4, 3, 4 ABC get representation, and rest of the, it's a 113. As per the Bihar caste survey, it is 103 ABC caste. It doesn't filter down the lower down the order. That is why the caste aspiration comes to the fore. So it is integrated. It is something like you have the vanilla ice cream at the bottom and the topping that is caste, and topping is development of that is of chocolate. When the chocolate melts, you can see the vanilla export.
So okay, there's a topic. So Nitish is the topic.
Yes, I think, we are discussing Nitish Kumar, for
So
the
this
last
is the topic.
1.5 hours, that's interesting. The other thing is, I think if you want to, my personal experience has been since 2005, that if you want to, decipher what's happening in Bihar in elections, just focus on 27% EBCs, Hindu EBCs, 36% the survey says, I think a chunk of it would be the Muslim EBCs, but you focus on the Hindu EBCs 26% and speak to those communities, people. I think you get a fair idea of what's happening in Bihar.
Okay, Kuntal Krishna also joined me. Good morning, Kuntal. Your opening comments. So, are you satisfied with the way things have moved in the first phase?
See, Kartikeya, at top of everything, what matters in Bihar is you have to choose between two options. One, which you saw for 15 years, other, which you are seeing for 20 years. Anyone and everyone needs a safe life and development around them. That's it. On top of everything, safety of life and development around you matters. And this is what is driving force for us and our victory. We are going to have a landslide victory. NDA is going to come with clear-cut 2/3 majority.
So NDA is going to have a landslide victory. Now, Chitra, you respond. BJP spokesperson says that they are going to have a landslide victory. So it's not a close shot at all.
Well,
Chitra.
you know what? Yesterday, if you would have seen Rahul ji's presentation on vote chori, he showed a snippet of Naib Singh Saini also saying that हमारे पास सब व्यवस्था है and हम ही जीतेंगे. So I think this confidence also stems from that fact itself. We are just hoping that these Bihar assembly elections are going to be conducted in a fair manner, and if that happens, then I'm certain that 20 saal Vinash Kal will be overthrown, and this time the badlav is going to happen, and the change is going to happen, and a new revolution, a new age of politics will be witnessed in Bihar.
KV, does this really work? Every time say the elections are not fair, does it really work for the principal opposition party right when the voting is taking place that, I hope the elections are fair? Does it send the right message across?
Certainly not. Certainly not. The fact is, it has come just a day before a very important
Absolutely.
vote. It sends a different kind of a signal, but why they choose to say, when they choose to say, again, it's their political call. Probably they do sense something out of it and try and build something, because let us also remember this is not the first time that something like this is coming out. Probably he was they have been talking about it. But I want to bring you to this other point which you've been talking about. Okay. I remember around the turn of century, 2000, Bihar had three major political players who were challenging challenging Lalu Prasad Yadav. One was Nitish Kumar, one was Mr. Ramvilas Paswan, third was Sharad Yadav. All three belonged to the Janata Dal socialist camp. And of the three, two are no longer with us today. And of them, only one's legacy is trying to regain or retain an element of that kind of a thing, and that is Chirag Paswan trying to keep that LJP, which again has not been the same LJP his father had founded, because the party itself had split. Whether or not politically they've done well is a separate issue. But if you look at the larger politics that has emerged out of it, is everybody is trying to, except Nitish. Probably Nitish has never played out his caste per se. The rest have used that kind of as a plank to launch themselves. Whether they're successful or not politically is for us to see all the time.
But he made his politics caste agnostic. Caste is there, but he went beyond the caste now.
I think he was one of the first one to go for this women as a as a big caste chunk. I mean, if you can call it a caste,
So I
like
said 2005. Sorry. 2005 was the time when they realized that Nitish could go beyond caste.
But there is also one aspect,
Sorry,
Smita, if you would have read the national newspaper, the direct benefit transfers to women in this country has risen from 0.2% to 0.5%. I really don't want to get into the debate whether it's right or not, but the fact of the matter is, it's 0.5% of the Indian GDP, and it's not less. It has become unsustainable in most of the states, these DBTs. I'm not asking this question to you as a woman journalist, but how long can we continue to stretch this sort of a beneficiary politics?
Yes, I agree with you. And the questions have already started being raised. Even though it is not even 5 years old, this giving cash to people, whether it is women or any other, segment of the population, sending them cash directly, which is going to give you no return. And what happens is there is then competitive announcement, okay? Yes. Tejashwi Yadav, who had promised 2,500 per month to the eligible women, had to suddenly, on the last day of the campaign, come down and say that, okay, we'll transfer it in one go on Makar Sankranti, that is 30,000 rupees for the whole year. Now, can you imagine how much that is going to cost the government in one day, one single day? And why did he do it? Because he must have got the message that the 10,000, the 10,000 scheme, as Sir was saying just now, has gone down very well with the women. So yes, money in the hands of somebody's pockets, especially in the pockets of women folk, is always an empowerment, because still in states like in Bihar, what happens is, for a very large section of the population, the women, they, even those who come from well-to-do families, forget about the social communities. Even in well-to-do families, the women by themselves do not have much money in their hand, okay? And there will always be some things they want to do, whether it is personal expenses. If it is an elderly woman, she wants to buy something for her grandchild. She wants to gift something to her daughter. But she always has to look at the men folk. पुरुषों का मुंह देखना पड़ता है. Even for the smallest needs. So money in the hands of the woman is a very, very effective tool to create trust in them. And I also agree that women as a voting community, women as an electoral power, have been too long ignored in this country, just voting blindly for whoever the men told them to vote. And during the Lalu Rabdi regime, I am a witness, women didn't even go out to vote, because even men hardly went out to vote. Such was the situation.
No, I completely agree with you.
They are feeling empowered, but as we are seeing in Maharashtra, in Karnataka, it may happen in the coming days in Himachal. What I'm seeing is, yes, today or tomorrow, governments will have to confront this question, and they will have to find ways to make this money in such a way that you give it as an incentive, which empowers the woman to earn money, to make herself economically empowered. What that will do is, it will become an asset creation, okay? It will not just remain a bakshish, it will become an asset creation. She will use that money to invest it, to make money for herself, for her family.
Really, this is the most fundamental point,
Just one line, Kartikeya. If you turn that money into asset creation, first for the woman and then for the society at large, this is what the Jivika entails to do. Do you know what Jivika women mostly do in Bihar? They make artifacts and things and activities which are traditional skills which we all used to learn at home, but they didn't know that it could be monetized. She didn't know that painting the cushion covers and the bed sheets could actually get her money. Today, she is getting money. It has transformed her personality. It has made her confident. Now she can think of little more. So yes, the economic sustainability of these schemes will have to be assessed today or tomorrow. It cannot go on forever. But if we reframe them, if we give this money as an incentive to create more wealth, which will empower the beneficiary as well as the state. Today, Jivika has not only empowered the Jivika members, it is also empowering Bihar. Today, you are finding artifacts made from Bihar, not only in India, even abroad, if the marketing is done well. So let us think new and you see, with the competitive populism going on, I don't think anybody will stop it. In fact, it will get bigger. So yes, one day we will have to confront this question. And I think the time is now.
The beast has become bigger, but no one wants to confront it. Let me take a couple of bites and then I'm going to come back to this issue of how long this competitive announcement can continue if we do not create a consensus around something what we call creamy layer. Let me play out the bites.
मैं सिर्फ इतना कहना चाहता हूं, हमारे बदलाव के पीछे जो प्रतिबद्धता है उसी ने थोड़ा बहुत उनको बदलने को मजबूर किया। माई बहन मान योजना होती ना होती तो आज कुछ भी ना हुआ। 20 बरस से आप थे, आपने कुछ नहीं किया। तो देखा जाए ओरिजिनल आइडियाज को लोग कैसे स्वीकार करते हैं।
मैं आग्रह करूंगा कि वोट दीजिए और वहाँ जो अपराध से युक्त था उससे मुक्ति मिले, अपराध मुक्त हो, अमन चैन हो और विकास हो। सरकार इनके विरोधी की अपील को ना खारिज कर दिया है और सरकार यही कंटिन्यू करे, इसलिए जोश के साथ लोग मतदान केंद्र पर जा रहे हैं, भारी भीड़ है।
Okay, so before I come back to the question of creamy layer, please stay with me. I need to take a short break. This is mandatory.
भारत सरकार ने सभी देशवासियों के हित में टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस से जीएसटी पूरी तरह से हटाकर जीरो कर दिया है। इससे टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस काफी सस्ता हो गया है। पॉलिसी बाजार पर अब 1 करोड़ का टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 400 रुपए महीने से शुरू।
ये बेस्ट है सर।
हमेशा वाला क्यों नहीं?
मिश्रा जी, आपके लिए फूलों की बरसात, बिरला ओपस एश्योरेंस देने के लिए।
मतलब प्रोडक्ट वारंटी?
ये एक्स्ट्रा है। 1 साल में पेंट को कुछ भी हुआ तो पेंटिंग वापस करके देंगे।
वापस करके देंगे?
वो भी फ्री। पेंटिंग में पहली बार बिरला ओपस एश्योरेंस। रजिस्टर करो birlaopus.com पर।
भाई साहब, आपने भारत कनेक्ट का नाम सुना है?
एक और सोशल मीडिया ऐप।
सोशल मीडिया ऐप नहीं, वो 700 से ज्यादा ऐप्स पे बिल पेमेंट्स पॉसिबल बनाते हैं।
बढ़िया है।
आप हमें जानते नहीं पर मानते जरूर हैं। हम हैं भारत कनेक्ट।
पढ़ता है, खेलता है, झूलता उछलता है, दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है, आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया।
कसका है दिन, ये दीवानापन, मजा आ रहा है।
यही मौका है बिजनेस को बढ़ाने का, पर पैसा।
अपनी सुपर पावर यूज करने का टाइम आ गया है।
आप टेंशन मत लीजिए, IIFL फाइनेंस से झटपट गोल्ड लोन लीजिए और बिजनेस आगे बढ़ाइए।
आपके जैसे सुपर हीरोज ऐसी छोटी मोटी प्रॉब्लम से थोड़ी ना रुकते हैं, इसीलिए लाइफ जब भी आगे बढ़ने का मौका दे तो अपनी सुपर पावर, अपना गोल्ड यूज करिए और IIFL फाइनेंस से गोल्ड लोन लीजिए।
IIFL फाइनेंस करता है सीधी बात।
Moments come alive, even in everyday life. Every moment finds its place, and every day comes alive inside the aircross. What do you say, Kara?
I think Mahi, Titro, and Aircross have her moment to come off.
Wow, say that again.
Welcome back to our rolling coverage on the Bihar elections, and let me straight away come to the question that yes, we were discussing smaller parties, we were discussing the issue of caste, but which way these smaller parties, which way the new players are going to make the cut? Santosh, coming straight to you and then I'll go to Faizan. Where do you think that Asaduddin Owaisi and Prashant Kishore party are going to make the cut? Are they going to dent Congress, Mahagathbandhan, the RJD Mahagathbandhan, or are they going to make a dent in the NDA?
I think Prashant Kishore will make some impact. It is something like bullet pellet. It can hit anyone in any order, any random order. He is an untested player. Of course, there has been some talk about him. We cannot give the numbers, but I think he could get something around 10% vote. It could be 5 to 7.
Who's going to,
I'm taking the.
where will the cut be felt? My question was, will NDA feel the pinch or Gathbandhan?
I think NDA will feel more pinch because of this.
Okay.
More pinch. That is my sense from the ground. Because RJD has a consolidated vote base, it could not be heard beyond a point. So more JDU and after BJP and then RJD in that order.
Okay.
That is Prashant Kishore. Talking about Asaduddin Owaisi, I don't think see him much of factor this time because of the trust deficit. 4 of his 5 MLAs crossed over to RJD. So I had been covering SIR throughout. I went to those areas twice in last 2 months. I was in Thakurganj, Bahadurganj. I got a sense that there is consolidation of Muslim votes in favor of Mahagathbandhan as always. So I don't think Owaisi hurting chances of Mahagathbandhan much. Maybe in one or two seat, Amor seat that is in Purnia, it is represented by Akhtarul Iman, the state president of AIM. So barring one or two, they are contesting 25 seats. Barring one or two, they are not going to create much impact there. So that is my answer to your thought question.
Kuntal, welcome back. You know, Lalu Prasad has said, तवा से रोटी पलटती रहनी चाहिए, नहीं तो जल जाएगी. Kuntal.
It is very clear. It is very clear. Bihar has blessed us and Bihar is going to bless us because of the work and the deliveries we made to the people of Bihar. What we said we delivered. One more thing, Karthikeyan. Bihar, these elections in Bihar are only having 2 options. It's a bipolar election. No third angle is there. Not at all. Third thing, a piece of information. Since 2006, the Jivika Didis were being given the chance to come up. Right now, the market capitalization of Jivika Didis is around 52,000 crores. This is the magnitude we are talking about. 52,000 crores is the market capitalization of Jivika. What? Now we are asking for what we have done. हम अपना मेहनताना मांग रहे हैं. If we have done something for you, this is time for us to get that mehnatana.
I think again then we have a line issue. Chitra, you wanted to come in for a long time. Sorry, you had to wait. Chitra. Most of my panelists are of the view that women, the issue of law and the stability that has emanated from Nitish tenure will hold him good.
So I think to sum up all these things, but there's only one statement we can make. There's no Sushashan, there's only Shoshan of the NDA and Nitish Kumar government. The BJP spokesperson was talking about delivery over here. If you were so confident about your delivery, then before you came for campaigning in Bihar, why you had to give everybody 10,000 rupees so that you should have something to speak about. So I think that's the kind of delivery that they have done in Bihar. That's the kind of development, zero zilch development they have done for Bihar. That's the kind of legacy they are going to leave for the Gen Zs of Bihar. The migration, the inflation.
You don't use the word youth anymore, Chitra. You don't use the word youth anymore. You know, आप लोग अब Gen Z इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं शब्द बार-बार. Youth नहीं, युवा नहीं बोलते अब.
Well, that's very implicit, isn't it?
But why? I'm asking you. नहीं, आप पहले युवा बोलते थे, मुझे याद है, youth बोलते थे, Gen Z नहीं बोलते थे आप लोग. Why?
So new generation. So of course it's the Gen Z. That's the common term that is being used for the youth of this particular country today, or rather globally, I would say. So I don't think so it hampers anybody to use that respective term.
You know, Brijesh, you know, just take it outside, but do you think that Gen Z is a political constituency in India? You know, Bangladesh, it was a different context. You know, it was Tabligh, you know, coming out. In Tunisia and other places, it was different. Nepal, it was pure play Gen Z. But in India, there is...
Well, Well, I mean, the import of why they're
Too much
using
of
Gen Z is
complexity.
obvious. The import of why they're using Gen Z is obvious. I mean, they are not getting into the nitty-gritties or the complexity or the baggage of it. The term Gen Z also, suits them because, as we have discussed several times, that when we talk of Jungle Raj, the narrative is, and I think the fault lies with the Mahagathbandhan or the RJD all that they never corrected certain, with certain narrations which became popular folklore devoid of reality. The Jungle Raj was horrifying to a certain vintage, and that is the reason why the Prime Minister also said that ask the old age people to remind the new generation of the horrors of Jungle Raj. I think the Gen Z they're talking about may not be privy to or not have seen that kind of horror unfolding before his very own eyes, and that is the reason why if you want to make a bifurcation as far as the Jungle Raj is concerned, the older vintage people may still remember those horror. They must have felt it personally, or someone in the extended family must have felt it, and their bias, their prejudices will remain intact till they die. But I think the newer generation, someone who has been 20 years, 18 years, or Gen Z as they are talking about, they might not be privy to that horror. They would be privy to horror which was unfolding during the Nitish Kumar tenure, people walking into hospital, shooting people, or normal law and order situation. So for them, Jungle Raj would be completely different, and they are trying to tap into this particular aspect, and that is the reason why I would say that the term Gen Z has been used more often.
Is this voting turnout on the higher side, Faizan? 13.3% in morning till 10 o'clock? Till 9 o'clock, 13%?
That's true. Actually, I have not seen the exact
I'm telling you, till 9 o'clock,
of
13% voting has taken place. Do you think it's on the higher side?
Yeah. Please, Karthike, you just wanted to my take on this Jan Swaraj and as well as MIM.
Yes.
Which alliance they are going to hurt or affect. I will say this Jan Swaraj may hurt or affect both alliances in some constituencies, in very few constituencies. But if they have the ability to hurt anywhere, they will hurt both the alliances. But as far as MIM is concerned, it is largely contesting in Simanchal constituencies. But I think, as Santosh rightly said, this time OIC's party is not going to damage as much as it did in 2020 elections. So it may win a few seats, maybe less than 5, which was their record in 2020. But they will damage only RJD, particularly in among this Mahagathbandhan, they will damage only RJD. So we were talking about also Gen Z. You see, Gen Z may be a new thing in Nepal and other countries, but in Bihar, we should not forget the role of Gen Z in mid-70s, when the total revolution movement was started by Jayaprakash Narayan. And he was leading the students and youths at that time. And it was this agitation was mainly focused on youth and students. Although after the elections, this movement was taken over by different political parties and leaders which had come under one banner after the formation of the Janata Party government at the center. But it was, I will say, it was the first time that the Gen Z, or they say youth and students, they had participated actively in one agitation which definitely changed the course of this country, political course of this country.
Yes. Yeah, I have a different take on this. In the sense, my understanding, use of Gen Z or millennials is more because of the age of social media. This is a generational, it's much easier to connect when I talk of Gen Z, right? And I don't see them comparable to what you talked of Nepal or what you talked in Bangladesh, because the political atmosphere was totally different over there, much different.
Our democratic structure is different.
And also the fact that we are, I mean, you don't have to explain where all of us are here, we vote here, we've been here for a long time. So that's probably my understanding is the political class or the political party or politicians do understand when they talk of Gen Z, they're talking to a particular section of society or younger who have the ability to change things.
Yes.
That's it. That's how do they're taking a democratic process. They're not talking of anything else. So that's my understanding.
If you remember, 2014 or 13, when Prime Minister Modi was appointed as a Prime Minister candidate, there were a lot of people who would resist and who would argue back with saying that, people who are on Twitter, they never go out to vote. People on Facebook, they never go out to vote. It's a limited thing. It's just a technological phenomena, and issues on the ground are completely different. But we all see how for the last 10, 11 years, social media has been used massively and extensively, and they have become the primary tool of any kind of, political messaging.
What he says here, I watched 2 elections very closely, which everybody talks about. I watched the Obama election working in the Congress in the US. And that was the first time a politician connected with the young. And in those days, there was no Twitter. Twitter was just launched in 2008. He used the Facebook to reach out to a large section. And the statistics tell you, and this time, fast forward to Mr. Trump's election, he mentioned that his son, young teenager son, made him speak to a social media YouTuber.
No, even Zoran Mamdani in his latest campaign, he not only sought crowdfunding. I think people are perplexed what he did. He asked them to make time for him. So if you wanted to buy a cup with Zoran Mamdani's name, you had to earn it by spending time with him outside in the field, not by tweeting for him in the drawing room. So that sort of a strategy which he deployed in itself was path breaking, but nonetheless they don't remain localized in a global world. Yep. I really need to take a short break. These visuals are coming from Bihar. Let me play them out on full screen. This is the dance of democracy. This is all I have to say. It's time for a short break. Our coverage on Bihar and other stories will continue.
भारत सरकार ने सभी देशवासियों के हित में हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस से जीएसटी पूरी तरह से हटाकर 0 कर दिया है। इससे हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस काफी सस्ता हो गया है। पॉलिसी बाजार पर अब 1 करोड़ का हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 550 रुपए महीने से शुरू। policybazaar.com।
पेंटिंग में पहली बार बिरला ओपस एश्योरेंस। 1 साल में पेंट को कुछ भी हुआ तो पेंटिंग वापस करके देंगे। रजिस्टर करो birlaopus.com पर।
अपनी सुपर पावर यूज करने का टाइम आ गया है। अब टेंशन मत लीजिए, IIFL फाइनेंस से झटपट गोल्ड लोन लीजिए और बिजनेस आगे बढ़ाइए।
लाइफ जब भी आगे बढ़ने का मौका दे, अपनी सुपर पावर, अपना गोल्ड यूज करिए और IIFL फाइनेंस से गोल्ड लोन लीजिए।
IIFL फाइनेंस करता है सीधी बात।
झूलता उछलता है, दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है, आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया।
आरजेडी ने कांग्रेस की कनपट्टी पर कट्टा रखकर सीएम पद चोरी कर लिया।
आजकल जो सरकार के लिए आता है, अंड वंड बोलता है, तो सबको जरा कहिएगा कोई काम किया है जी। 20 साल में ये सरकार ने